Hello! Greetings. Alright, just checking where my mic is. Looks like my volume levels are good. Thank you so much for joining me. Yeah, I still have the tablet up because of... I'm still focused on digital stuffs at the moment because the Cricut stuff is expiring today as far as Cricut Access, and you know, I get that like maybe a couple times a year, so like maybe 3 months out of the year is how often I use it at the moment. If I have more designs that I am like gearing towards being stickers, I'll probably use it a little bit more often just because of some of the design assets in there are pretty neat, but for the moment, that's not something that I'm doing like full time. So here I am, kind of waving, floundering about with the waving my fingers, and I badly need to redo my nails. This stuff chipping. You ever have that thing where like your nail, like the very outer layer of the nail, kind of chips away? It's fracking annoying, and it takes the polish with it. So, oh well. I have messy hands today. To go ahead and move on with what's going on, I have the cutting board. I don't know if you can see the difference in color, but this is not covered. This area is covered. So I have my cutting board taped back on because we're still messing around with this a bit. I did not get to try the lifting that I wanted to do. My day got kind of sidetracked. It's happened a little bit sooner the past couple of days than I'd prefer, but that is alright. That is life. But yeah, I need to grab my little scrubby brush. We're gonna try to lift a little bit of this. I didn't even update the name of the stream for today, which actually is still accurate, so that's not going to matter because I'm doing a little bit of work on this, those little finishing details, and I'm doing a little bit of work on the digital Cricut stuffs, so it should still be relevant, so you're not just coming in here being completely surprised and thrown off. I am holding this in place because it is likely to slide if I don't, and I just didn't want to spend the time switching between the monitor, the tablet monitor or not. So that was just handy for me to leave it in place today. I do see that this is slightly pulling at the paper, so we're going to leave that alone. Looks like it did lift a teeny bit, but it's a little bit wet, so it's a little hard to tell. I'm gonna try to lift a little bit from around this flower. So first I'm just wetting that down. Give it a gentle little scrub. I'd rather have to paint the flower back in than just leave all this sap green sitting there. So again, because this is you know, stuff that involves moisture, I do want to give it like a good overnight before I do the sealing. So any of these changes that I'm working on today basically means this is getting set aside and we're dealing with another day for the finish work, which it sucks, but I'd rather it done right. It's kind of let you know what happens behind the scenes when you're getting that artwork, like how many little things go into finish work and prep and all that stuff. So when you see like prints might be a little bit pricey, well, there's a lot of work that happened behind that. And then there's, you know, some people count on volume, and if you have a large audience, yeah, you can absolutely count on volume, and that'll help bring the prices down for your digital products. But when you're just starting out and you're still building an audience, this stuff's gonna be a little bit pricier. I did a little bit of that tail. I'm gonna just do another quick swipe at it, and it looks like I am in frame. I was hoping I was in frame. But anytime I'm up towards this corner side. Now this might take away some of the aging effect that we put in. I'm actually seeing a little bit of some sap green up here. I'm gonna try to move that down a little bit. I said I'd rather erase this whole flower over here than leave that sap green exactly as it was. Alright. Now, I don't want my paper to get like basically like too fatigued. So I'm gonna probably stop it in just a second here. That looks like it lifted pretty good. I'm gonna come down just a little bit more though, because I think I still see a ghost of it down here. It probably doesn't hurt to come down here where this purple is. I've already done this a bit, trying to lift it with this purple. We'll just hit that again since, you know what, I already am in the same area. We got the tools out. It doesn't hurt to go ahead and give it another go. So it's better to go ahead and treat this in like a gentle process and, you know, try to lift a little bit at a time. I will probably also try to drop this tablet screen down for a bit to go ahead and show you the journal and what I'm planning there. I'm actually running a little bit behind today in what I wanted to do. I'd move a good bit of stuff because I have some 12 by 18 paper. It's as far as I recall, it's plain paper because the plan was to go ahead and cut it down to 12 by 12s for scrapbooking. But I got the paper at a really great deal. I was going to get the printer, and then we had some car issues, so I canceled getting my wide format printer because we needed to go ahead and put that money into the car. This is last yearish, so I have this giant case of just reams of this 12 by 18 paper. I'm going to chop it into 12 by 12s for some of the Cricut stuffs that I had planned. I'm trying to think, do I even need this up still? As far as the cutting board, I think I'm going to remove it. I could probably trim the image down already, and I could show you removing it from the block. But I'm also kind of like, maybe I should leave it on the block while I go ahead and do the fixative. When I seal the watercolor, I think it might be easier for me to apply it while it's still mounted on the block. Yeah, I think I'm gonna wait. Which is a shame because that's a very small step towards this process. So basically after that sap green dries, the attempt to lift that sap green, I'm going to hit it again, and we're going to let that dry a bit longer. I'm going to try to do that towards the end of the stream, just to finalize that, put that flower back in if it's lifted too much, and that might be everything for that. The next big things, you can hear my small one gaming in the background, are these divider bits. So I finally have the 12 by 18 paper freed. I actually wound up gouging myself just a touch with my knife because at one point, with this skinny little blade, sometimes I forget which end's the sharp end. Not the pointy end, but I mean like the actual blade is really thin, and it's very similar to the other side, so I occasionally grab it on the wrong side. Like I was trying to press into this severe amount of packing tape. They put so much tape on this box. That's great because like it shipped fine, but yeah, I hadn't even opened that case because of the not having the printer. I hadn't needed this paper. But now I've realized, like, you know what, I can get into this and I can start working on some of like my templates and stuff. So I have not had this external screen on all that much, so I basically have to move my stuff over. I'm gonna go ahead and switch out our view. So let's see, this is my desktop 2. So that way we're not on the camera. I do have to spend a moment to remove the cutting board bits. The tape on the cutting board. Alright. Alright, so you can see the current projects. I'm gonna have to grab my mats, because today is the day, and considering how my days have gone this past week or so, things have been a little bit chaotic. Oh, here I'm trying to click on the wrong screen. I do not always think about what I'm doing. I was clicking on the wrong screen to go ahead and get this done. Alright, so just doing a quick check for scale. Okay, good, it's saved. This is a bit smaller than the, oh, that's right, the tail. Yeah, because of that tail, I had to scale it in a little bit. Alright, so it will fit within a 12 by 12, so we are good there. Gonna hit make it. I do need to adjust a bunch of settings because, like, right now my my machine is set for vinyl because most recently I was cutting some vinyl. It's one of those little gouges where, like, it only hit a couple layers of skin. It's not bleeding, so I just have this little skin tag that's gonna catch on everything. But anyways, so basic cut. I don't know why it thinks I got a 12 by 24. Why do you think I need this size? Okay, I'm gonna scroll down and see what this is talking about. Oh, come on. Okay, so apparently I need to make this cat just the teensiest bit smaller. So we're gonna hit cancel. I don't know why, but with the when it comes to scrolling up and down, my pen does not want to do it from this tablet input, and that's driving me slightly bonkers. Alright, so now I need to scroll down. That was too fast. I'm just bringing this in ever so slightly. I'm gonna hit save just that way. You know, just in case, I want to make sure that everything's saved. That way I don't go back to make it and then come back to the canvas and suddenly it's crazy. Like, why do I not have the option to put this on a 12 by 12? It's within a 12. Okay, I'm gonna hit rotate. I'm gonna see if maybe it'll realize, like, what it's doing. Because this fits. Like, we just did this. It's still saying it doesn't have enough room. It's like, how much tolerance do you need? I have like almost a 1/4 inch on this side, and then I have whatever. Alright, so we're gonna bring this in a little more than I like, but I don't know, maybe to the 11.5. This is fracking annoying. Come on, go away. Come over here, I have to click you. Yay! I can fit this on a 12 by 12 now that I've had to shrink this smaller and smaller. But whatever. It's within clearances, it's happy now. I do need to go ahead and adjust the next bit. So Let's see what's going on. I need to make sure Bluetooth is on, actually. It's been a minute since I've used my Bluetooth. I tend to turn it off because I have another headset. And I don't know if I have that even on. Yeah, I turned it off. Okay. So it's coming on. Should be just a moment while it detects my my Cricut. And I need to be loading a mat. So yeah, I can go ahead and get stuff cut today. Hopefully it's going to be, I guess, interesting. Maybe. Really? Try again. It's on. It's waiting. There we go. Yeah, it's going to do a scan for the base material. It's going to see that I need vinyl, and it's like, no, I'm not doing vinyl, I'm doing just plain old paper. I do actually need to grab a couple of those sheets and cut a good, like, 6 inches off. I do have, my mat is already, well, I have to go grab my mat. I'm debating which mat I need. I have an assortment pack of mats, so I'm just going to pop in the be right back. I'm still here. It's just I'll be away for a second to go ahead and grab the mat, and apologies, it's going to show you my screen. I didn't set the input for the external monitor for all of these screens because I haven't used it for all of the screens, so you know, just minimum viable product, I guess, or something along those lines. Just doing what has to be done, what I normally do. What I normally do is I work off the camera. I don't normally work on my screen. I'm not striving to be a digital based channel, digital based streaming, but I do like to have like some of those behind the scenes for you guys, so you can see like when I work on the sign. I'm not sure what I'm going to be painting on it, but the more relevant bit will be the when I get into the labels, because my planner, like things that I create for my planner that are useful not just for me but for other people, those are things that I might offer as like stickers in my shop. I am using this streaming to help me build inventory for my shop ultimately. So that's something that it's not just about processes. There is like an end goal, but you know, I'm trying to work on everything organically. I'm not rushing myself to just slap a bunch of things together and throw them in a shop. It's like, no, I want to enjoy this process. This is what I'm trying to do. This is what I like to do. So hopefully you enjoy being with me for this. I'm going to shut up for a minute while I go ahead and grab that paper and chop it down and grab my mats. So it's probably best that I am on camera for the moment because you can see me slap stuff on mats. Wow, I sit corrected. I would say I'd stand corrected, but you know, I am already sitting down. So, yeah, I pulled open the paper and like actually got sheets out, and I was pleasantly surprised that, in fact, no, I did not buy a bunch of standard paper. This is actually cardstock. It's been so long since I made these plans, and actually I do prefer, in general, with scrapbooking, well, scrapbooking-like applications, that I prefer cardstock over the thinner sheets. Like, I also use thinner sheets for other things, but primarily, this is what I wanted. So I'm very happy now. Okay, and because of the going back and forth with the digital versus the physical aspects, I don't have, you know, like I said, I have a little desk. So right now I just grabbed my general drawing mat, the one with the clip on it. So I've parked that in my lap upside down so I don't have to deal with bumping into the clipboard part, and I'm using my, I got that We Are Memory Makers, or Memory Keepers. We Are Memory Keepers. The Works all-in-one tool. I'm not sponsored, but I do like to mention what I'm using. I really like the blade on this paper cutter. I actually like it a lot more than the one that came in the Cricut bundle that I got. So that is spiffy for me. Just as far as like how easily it slides off to be able to replace it. Of course I'm going to be a little bit biased because it's new right now. So like it hasn't been worn down over time. My Cricut one, I've badly abused it by cutting watercolor paper with it. So that blade got dull. So I will admit that, you know, I may be somewhat biased there. I'm currently just lopping off a good 6 inches on the side of these sheets, so I have nice 12 by 12s to stick in my machine. I cannot wait to have a wide format printer because these would be great for like some 11 by 17 posters. I am so excited to get to that point. That point's going to be maybe within the next year. Right now I have like a nice, well, I would say run-of-the-mill laser jet printer. I do love laser. If they're a little bit pricier up front, but for me the big perk is if you're not doing a lot of printing, toner doesn't dry up. It's going to be waiting there, ready for you to print when you need to print. And you can use toner to go ahead and do foil transfers. Foil transfers is another big thing that I'm interested in. I actually grabbed 4 sheets by accident, and I'm just going to be proactive and slice these all down to 12 by 12s. And I apologize in advance if this is boring as anything. I'm trying to be gentle with the language because sometimes I can curse quite a bit. I don't know if this is quite where I want to be as far as the channel. Like, is this the language that you expect or not? Alright, so popping that paper back up here because I dropped it on the floor like a silly person. Some of this paper did get a little bit dented on the one side, which is the side that I'm lopping off. And I have to apologize in advance that this is probably a touch on the boring side because you're not actually seeing what I'm doing and behind the scenes. I feel like I need an extra arm today. Alright, so just line it up with 12. Yeah, this paper trimmer goes out to 14-inch length is what's measured on it. So that is handy. Alright, one more sheet down. One to go. Okay, and yes, you are the jacked up side. You ever wonder where some of these phrases come from? The English language is so weird. But, yeah, so there's that. Alright, last end is cut off. Even though I could probably leave these longer, I could have done that card. Not that card, that envelope. Oh, but I don't have the right mat. Yeah, never mind. But I can do an envelope on this, and I can just cut some random holes to it. Well, that would only be a 12 by 12. Never mind. I'm trying to figure out ways around that problem, and that's probably not going to happen today. Anyways, I do still need to be working on a project for tomorrow, because tomorrow is Tuesday. And I have stuff going on for a friend. Yeah, work in progress. So, there we go, I have my stuff cut. I'm just gonna set this to cut. You know what, in the meantime, I feel like there's so many Cricut type tutorials out there, so at this point, you see it's like set to cardstock, the blade's already loaded. Once I load the mat, I go ahead and tell it to go ahead and cut. There's really nothing else that's happening on this, and I feel it's kind of a boring thing to leave up. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull up my Photoshop window and show you some of the stickers that I have in mind as far as the foiling process. So we'll jump over here. This is probably going to sound a little bit on the cheesy side. Come on. Okay, fine. I'll minimize you so I can bring Photoshop over. I don't know why it's being cranky with me. It's like, would you just zoom already? There we go. Alright, there you go. You can see it. So, the phrasing, it sounds... I would say narcissistic almost. And that's not how I intend it. For me, like, valuing myself is a skill that I'm working on. So for me, putting that phrasing out there that I'm going to see every time I open this planner is important, because it is reinforcing that I have value as a person. A lot of people thought, well, not a lot of people, I know one specific person thought I was cocky because I would just go about everything and, you know, not really... Somehow that's the attitude that came off. And as far as that perception, that was actually completely wrong. I had so little value of myself that it didn't matter what was going on with me, that what mattered was that I was doing things for people, making them happy. And I got so far into a people-pleasing state that, like, my self-worth was trash, and that is something that I'm building towards. So, hopefully that makes sense there. I'm just about crying now. Kind of tearing up a bit, so... I'm gonna just take a moment to mute and breathe. But, yeah. So I'm getting out the cutting mat. I don't know which one I'm going to use. This is cardstock, probably just standard grip. I have a mixed pack of all of them. I don't feel like light grip's gonna... I mean, it could be fine. I do tend to use the light grip a lot. You know what, maybe I'll do that. And just keep beating up my old mat. I've been pulling out the standard grip once in a while for some stuff, but... yeah, the light grip was working fine for a slightly lighter weight of cardstock, so it should be fine for this too. I don't know what the weight that I have is, but I do like, you know, it's stating like 80 pounds. It's probably about right. It's probably like a 85 or 60 maybe. Ooh, I kind of like this track. It reminds me a little bit of a band called Beats Antique. What was the name of that album? I have one of their albums and I can't remember which one it was, but it had this really pretty, like, tribal-esque, like, belly dancer on the front cover, and this is, I don't know, a weird evolution of, like, probably cultural appropriation, artistic license, things along those lines, and that's why I get very weird about it, because when you're just looking at something, you don't know where they borrowed those influences from and what might be interpretation and where the cultural appropriation comes in. So anything that's like tribal or bohemian or quote unquote gypsy, that's that fits in such a weird place for me, because like I like looking at lots of different cultural cultures of the world just in general, but I don't want to just like use their stuff willy-nilly. Like it's not cool. Like you need to respect where the sources of these things are from, and it's just my take. So conversation's totally random today. I'm gonna go ahead and jump over to Twitch for a minute. I'll just kind of hop over here, because I haven't really hopped over and said hello. I need to find one of my folders on my computer later. Wow, I forgot about that. I'll look that up later. I was doing some digital maintenance. For whatever reason, the folder I was saving stuff to for my screen when I stream is not the default folder anymore. So some stuff is a little wonky for me. Oh yeah, Twitch. That's what I'm doing. Sometimes, I swear, I have the memory of a goldfish. Like, I am so behind that I didn't even have my my stream manager open. It's like, wow. Alright, so everything is looking good. Hello to everybody. Whether you're joining me through Twitch or YouTube, thank you so much for being part of this journey. I'll go ahead and move back over to the screen. Though I will pop up the Cricut window in just a moment after I load this mat, so I'll be on mute for a moment. I'll just dash right off. Alright, and I am back. I'm going back into Photoshop. I have the divider tabs measured there, so I can go ahead and get stickers to be lined up correctly. Ooh, wrong thing. No, I don't want to maximize. Just want you to dock back in there. There we go. Alright, wrong button. What I actually wanted to do is grab just down here on the ruler, where I can go ahead and hit the shift button to go ahead and get that to line up right with the 3-inch mark. And I can zoom in so you can see that a little bit better. Right. So, yeah, so when you have the move tool selected, you just grab from the ruler, drag down, and this is how you put your guidelines in. And if you're getting these weird, like, you can see this random 2.9, etc., if you don't want that, and what you want it to do is to lock into more like standardized measurements, go ahead and hold down the shift button, and that's going to make it easier for you to lock into the that spot. So now I have my little 1/4 inch section measured. I'm just going to make my type tool. Just going to grab that. And I'm going to pop in something. I might need to go ahead and change the size of it. Right now it's snapping to that little section, but that way I can go ahead and type in the tab names that I need. It's awesome. My friend Nikki popped into the video, what was it, 2 days ago? But yeah, she hopped in there, and then she made a comment about the adhesive boogers. So if you missed out on the adhesive boogers, you'll see that in the next. Well, just check back a couple days ago. My phone is just blowing up with notifications because I haven't been on it. It's like the phone waits until you grab it again to go ahead and just start spamming the daylights out of you. Alright. Like, I want notifications, that's why I don't turn them off. But at times it's like, Alright. I'm trying to get to my my Evernote list, because what I did in there is to start putting in a list of what I want for stickers. There we go. Alright. So probably the most important one, because if I don't set one to be looked at every day, that's going to be a problem. You see the text is going outside of that 1/4 inch mark, so I need to bring that in a little bit. So we'll just go ahead and hit all. I'm gonna hop over here to my text sizes. We're gonna see, will a 16 get us there? For right now I'm gonna say okay. And I'm gonna use the move tool because I want this to be showing me where the text is actually sitting in as compared to the box rather than the bounding box itself. So now I'm just seeing, does that text actually fit? It still does not, because that flourishy D is dipping way below. But that's okay. We can go back into text. I'm gonna drop it down to a 14. We'll see how close we are. And I don't want the I don't want stuff to be hanging over the edge. What I may do, because these are going to be clear stickers, is I may go ahead and do these as like just trim them down physically after. I'll go ahead and scale them up a little bit because I want my text to fill as much area as possible. So these might not be perfect, like right off the bat kind of perfect, but they will function. Alright. So that fits within the area. I'm happy. I'm gonna grab my text file, little text tool again. This is... I don't know, I hope it's interesting seeing the process for this. So basically, once you go ahead and have all your stickers lined up, what I'll do is I'll save this as an image file, and I'll upload it into the Cricut design space. So unfortunately, right now we're on the process work. I do stuff live, so you guys generally see a lot more than maybe is fun. I'm sorry, the reality is, you know, things don't just blam, they're done. Man, wouldn't that be awesome sometimes, though? Like, yeah, I had an idea, then poof, 5 minutes later I have the thing in my hands. So the text fits. We're just sliding it down. Grabbing another one. Ooh, this one decided to jump out a little bit. There we go. Alright. Just do some select all. So I tend to do a lot of outside learning stuff. In this one, I didn't know if I want to just do long-term course or long-term notes. So I actually have it as long-term course notes, and I'm like, that's not gonna work for how little this area is. Unless I want to make the font itty-bitty. It's already gonna be like a 1/4 inch. I want to stay kind of large, so I think I'm gonna just leave it as long-term course. Short-term course should just fit. Let's see. Do I want to change any of my letters? Nah. So I'm gonna show you, just because I'm talking about changing my letters. So for example, you see this E? How it has this like little grayish line? If you have a font that is designed to have variations, you can go ahead and just hover over it. You'll see this little menu pop up, and then you can go ahead and choose the other variants if you want. So in this case, yeah, let's go ahead and pick the fancy E, because this one's on the end. It's not in a bad spot to do it. The S also has the option. I'm gonna see what it looks like. I don't feel that quite so much because it's not right on the end. I feel like it interrupts with the flow of the phrasing. Just go ahead and check out the other ones. I think maybe the R might work though. Yeah, that's not bad. Sorry, I'm like hitting the right click on my cursor just because I'm not paying attention to what I'm doing. Yeah, I think we'll do the R because the R dips down really low where the E doesn't, so that's why I'm not doing it for the E. I'll just skip over here. And I don't think there's any for these guys. Yeah. Okay. So just a quick thing for you to see as far as those alternate characters. So I'm gonna just hit the V to go ahead and pull up the move tool. We're gonna see how well this fits. Oh, that one's gonna be so close. I feel like I need to actually, because of the height of the characters, I'm gonna go in and I'm gonna change this one. And I keep hitting the right click instead of the left. That's one thing. I wish there was like a slight bit of texture on my mouse area where I can go ahead and you know, where I could go ahead and just select that. Sorry, that didn't make sense. Okay, so I can English. I'll get there. Okay, so what I was referring to, just so I can like physically feel which side of the pad I'm on, because a lot of times I'll tend to like do center clicks, which causes that issue that you see. Alright, so snap this guy. Delete. Short-term course. And I'm trying to stick with just that small thing, so like maybe things like webinars. My camera's actually blipping that it's got low battery, which that should be fine. This is still in the should still be in the same size, so that should be fine. go ahead and grab that E. I'll go ahead and grab that R because I like them. And I will grab that R too. Oh, I forgot the term. Whoops. Yeah. I like it. Okay. I don't think there's an M. Okay. There's a T. We'll see how it looks. We'll see if I like it. No. That's too much. Okay. I do think I forgot the R in term when I did long-term course. So we're gonna move you off. It doesn't really matter where. Just using that for my spacing. Okay, I did get it. The silly things that I consider. Get back to the text tool. I'll drag this out. I'm making all of them the same size just because of simplicity for dealing with fonts. This will probably need some abbreviation or something. But in my planner, I'm going to have sections for planning the content that you see, things like the business stuff. Yeah, so I need to decide how I want to abbreviate my business stuffs. Because I'm not going to just list it as the business, because I also have a long-term project that I'm also doing, which you'll see as I get to it. I'm gonna hop over here. Just check out messages. No messages today. Nobody's feeling like chatting. That's okay, we can just chill, and I can just keep on rambling. My Cricut thing should be done. Yeah. Just unload material. I'm just gonna hit done. We'll see if it'll take it from my tablet. Okay. Nice. So I need to unload my mat, but I will deal with that in a moment. I'm actually going to go back to... Oh, I meant my projects over here. We'll grab the sign. We'll hit customize, because I like to just load it into here for a bit. And we'll hit make it real quick. And this is doing the same thing, so I need to hit cancel. Just backtrack and shrink it down a little bit, give it a little bit more space. Which I don't want to make these any smaller, but I understand it's got to have like margins for tolerances and such. That's fine. Alright, so I'm gonna hit save. I always recommend saving just to avoid hiccups. Which actually reminds me, and dip over to Photoshop and I'll hit save over there too. Alright, we hit make it just to see the size. Yes, we are down to a 12 by 12. So I'll be doing that in a bit. That'll be something I'll just set as like a last second. So yeah, I think the first 4 of my divider tabs will work for just about anyone. You know, while I still have some battery left, I'm gonna switch back to the camera mode. Because I also still have to figure out what I'm going to rename this. Rename this tab anyways. So I'll just show you the binder. Not binder, planner. I don't know, I kind of call it a binder because, I mean, it is bound. And the pages are able to be moved, but it's a ring-based binder. So, like, Happy Planner, TUL, ARC, who else? Talia, I think? Though the size is a little bit different. This is the TUL junior size. A couple other planners also have a junior size, and this is like if you took a standard 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper and just folded it in half. Like, those are the pages, the standard pages that fit in this guy. So, just There you go. Pages. I have a little pad of like to-do lists that came with the folder that's in here. What do I call that, a folder? Divider pockets. It's a divider and it has pockets on both the front and back. I'm going to be making a couple of these in with paper. Let's see, unfortunately, I get all kinds of weird stuff. But anyway, dust and whatnot. So yeah, I'm going to make a couple of these. That's going to be the next time I have my desk clear, which will probably be tomorrow, because I do want to move forward with these stickers. Not just these binder divider ones, but also like inside I also want to do some shape tags. Those are also coming today, so this is going to be a very very late night for me, figuring this stuff out and trying to get this all nailed down. I may just do like a couple sheets of tags and a couple papers, so I'll have like backers and also some more plain looking ones. And what I might do with the spares is just chuck them in my shop when I get to that point of having enough inventory. So I have two main papers that I'm using for this, because they work for my theme. And of course I always look out for like clearance type stuffs if I'm doing things personally. If I'm doing stuff for like business, it's kind of like whatever I need. I'm more likely to go that route. But these colors work really well for me. There's gray, black, red, and 2 shades of tan. So I have these for some of the dividers that I already have in there. And then I have this. This is an old paper pad. This is hard to find nowadays. I got 2 of them just because I didn't know how much I was going to use. I don't love all of the prints, but I love enough of them. Like, I really like them. That's why I got two sets of it. It's a A4 size. It's a little bigger than standard sheet. But I really like this. Especially the florals, like dark colors, florals. The lace pattern. I like the lace pattern. I don't love the map behind it. I'm weird about ephemera type stuff. I want it to have meaning. Like, meaning to me. Not just like, oh yeah, these are some cool old tags. And it's like, meh. Little bit lukewarm. Like, it's one thing if it's like natural studies, like setups of like scientific illustration, botanical images. Cool. That's my ephemera. That is stuff that I love because I naturally have an interest there. But like receipts for somebody's dry cleaning or random stuff in French is like, you know, just because it's in French doesn't make it fancy. I don't know. Maybe I'm too judgy. I sound really judgy right now, don't I? But I'm allowed to be picky. This is my personal planner. This is the thing that I want to turn to and have it be kind of like a mini oasis when I open it, that this is like my own world that I've built. So I'm going to be particular about the world that I build. I'm hopeful tomorrow that I'll be a little bit more organized as far as the desk stuff, so I can have this cleared off and you can actually see paper trimming. We can actually do those folders. I think that's kind of where I'm at right now, is that I want to do more with this planner, because the more this comes together, the more my other projects feel like I feel more flow towards the other projects, just, if that makes sense. Like this is like my staging area. This is where I decide the projects that I'm doing and you know, really getting into them. And as you can see, I love this font. This font pops up. I think it's the only font that I used for my current business card iteration. And I'll be doing another variant very shortly, because at the time I did the cards, I only had my email address set up. Now I have my socials. So, you know, you'll see probably behind the scenes on that too, because I think it's interesting to see those pieces of a business coming together. Admittedly, I do spend a lot of time on aesthetics, but I like the aesthetic process. I have a message over here. Alright. It's just my other half. He's been working on a coding project, and he's nailed it. It's done. So that's awesome. I'm glad that worked. Yeah, we have about 5 minutes left. I got one cut done. I'll have another cut done very shortly. I don't know, I feel like a lot of YouTubers like really nail the Cricut stuff, so it's kind of like I'm kind of like the dipping the toe in it thing, because I am not an expert. I don't think I'm a guide for this sort of thing. But I will be, you know, showing you at least putting these images into Design Space and working from there. Pretty much everything that I'm doing in black for this particular sheet is going to be foiled. We'll see how that goes, because that is also a fairly new process for me. I've done like 2 things, and there's definitely some bugs to be worked out. I think I might have had some settings incorrect, so it's a work in progress. And not everything's going to go right. You're going to waste some materials, you're going to waste some time, and you need to stop being so precious about that. That's as much for you as it is for me, because oh boy, have I been precious about some materials and some things about like time processes, and now you're here with me as I'm saying F it, I'm moving forward. So that's what this is. This is another grand experiment for that. The foiling that I'll be doing is using print and cut. I don't have the Cricut foil tool, even though I am enticed by the idea of it, as well as the new card thing. I like some of the projects you saw with that skeleton cat. I'm gushing over that cat. It's freaking kind of creepy, kind of sharp, kind of adorable in a way. It's my kind of project, so I'm definitely going to do a cut with that. I don't know if I'm going to be able to just fake that I have the thing. Like, I'm gonna load some paper into my Cricut and be like, yeah, sure, I'm using this card cutting thing. We'll see if it cuts. So, yeah, I am going to experiment with that. We'll see what it does. Let's see, otherwise, I really feel I'm just kind of wrapping this up today. As far as what's next, what's new, I feel like maybe these lines need to be a little bit thicker compared to my text. I don't know. They should be fine. And even if the foil doesn't adhere well, you'll still see the toner underneath. I think that'll be fine. I actually have worked on a project like that, where I counted on the foil and the toner not necessarily holding up. I'm actually going to show you the journal that I bound. This is a handmade journal. Because this was for personal use, I did kind of grab a background image as some shorthand, and I have yeah, so this gear bit in the background and underneath, that is somebody else's work, and I am so sorry I don't have their name, because I did this 4, maybe 5 years ago, so I'm sorry I don't remember. But the symbols here, I made these. I found someone had created a Gallifreyan alphabet, and I am a big Doctor Who nerd, and I went ahead and I made these symbols. I drew them out in pencil first, and then I popped them into Photoshop and played with shapes and lines and got that nailed down. So yeah, after the Gallifreyan symbols, I just flattened everything together. I did this little middle section with as a transfer onto liquid polymer clay, and I glued that on. You can see I didn't get all the background up, but then I just did an antiquing wash in brown in the back. I just was like, you know what? That fits the aesthetic. I want to push this towards just being old and beat up. Even though I did go ahead and give this a couple coats of, I think I used Mod Podge for my sealer. You know, it's worn over time, and you can see the foil is coming up slowly. I have little flecks of like gold and copper and silver. I want it to be variegated, so I just went full on into it, and you know, I just did a toner print, laid the metal sheet down, laid a piece of paper over the top to go ahead and hold the metal leaf in place, and just ran over it with an iron, and it transferred on. So then I just had to remove the excess foil. Not excess foil. I keep saying foil on this one. This one was metal leaf, just plain old like decorative metal leaf. But you can see where it's worn over time, and the metal leaf is not being held by the toner as well as it used to. But it's a cool aged effect. I did, again, this is a public domain image, and then I created like dotted lines. I didn't quite want to go towards like a dot grid, but I did want to go ahead and play with that. Not knowing what my margins would be, I left myself a lot of runoff. I don't have a paper trimmer, so this was done with messily done, I should say, with just an X-Acto knife and a ruler to go ahead and try to square my edges. Because I did at the time, I still don't have a book press, but if I had a book press and I could just have held the pages perfect, I would have sanded these nice and smooth. But this is a nice cotton paper. It's really good for a lot of prints. That's why I love getting that resume paper. And I do plan on doing another one with white pages instead of this. I forget if this was listed as a cream or an ivory, but in my brain they're so similar. But it's a fun journal project. I definitely want to do more binding. I did 4 signatures. I think this is considered Coptic binding. After I did the signatures, I glued them. There's another piece of cardstock in here. I stitched them to this cardstock to act as a spine, and then I glued this cardstock into the cover. So that's how this was assembled. I love it. It is not meant to be a permanent, long-term use book. It's kind of like short-term stuff, but I knew I would be using it for a little while. I still haven't filled all the pages. I have tons of notes that I need to go back in here and reread and see what was going on with me at this time. But I do love it. I do want to do some similar stuff, but you know, clearly with my own designs if I'm doing it for sale. This was just personal use. So yeah, I thought this warranted a little bit of showing off, and you guys can see how well it's aged or not. Yeah, nice paper tear there. That's a nice portable size though. I did this as half sheet and half sheets of paper, and then just folded them in half for the signatures. So basically one regular size sheet of paper is 4 pages. Or no, it would be 8. You have front and back. So like this is one sheet. You can see the stitching there. So this is half, that's the top half. And then 1, 2, 3, 4 for one. And then the other half of it would be another 4. So yeah, 8. So 8 sheets per one sheet of paper. But yeah, now I'm rambling over time. I do plan on doing more like that because I love how that came out, and it was such a fun and pretty project. I need to find more cardstock that's heavy enough like that. I have a slightly better process now where I would deal with a little bit less cracking on that spine. That's part of why I created that polymer clay addition, was just to go ahead and help create like a solid but flexible section to go ahead and do that with. So yeah, you guys got to see my, one of my personal notebooks. That's just I am a notebook junkie. It's why I'm trying to take so much time into like customizing it, because I'm better when I've customized my notebooks. I tend to prowl around like external notebooks a bit less ish. But yeah, I'll work on the rest of these sticker layout. I'll show you the progress for that. Hopefully that's kind of like a little bit of a jump in time, not a slow plod through everything like it currently appears to be. I gotta figure out what I want to do for abbreviations on this, and that's not something I want to bore you with. Were there any other prompts I could do now? Well, here I am over time anyway. Yeah, I think that is just it for today, and I hope it's been interesting to see some of the background behind the scenes, things that are to come, and you know, keep on creating. I think I'm just going to leave it as keep on creating, because I work with so many different types of media. I have so many things going on in the background that I want to show you, especially when it comes to the photography project that I want to do. I need to work on costuming and prop making, so that is probably at least a month away. Yeah, I don't even have it planned that far, other than I want to do this thing. So I have some great cosplay resources, and I do need to pick up some foam. I'll probably do a bit of paper mache, because paper mache is definitely within my budget. It's easy to just save up some paper. I'm rambling. I'm gonna just stop and say keep on creating, and I hope you'll join me tomorrow, and I'll have more interesting things to show you then, because I don't have a plan formulated. Yeah, we'll just go for it. So I will update the stream when I have a better idea, a little bit closer to go time. And thanks so much for joining me. I hope you have a great night. Bye.